What's up, y'all? This is your girl Ebony, and for those that don't know, I'm a patient care technician, and I just came to talk to y'all today about a few things that happened this week. Honestly, I don't know what I was going to come out my mouth. So I asked the Lord to give me the tongue of the learned in this moment, so that even as I am talking to you guys and advising you guys on certain things, that, you know, it's done justly. You know what I'm saying? And anything that I say is not going to be out of bashing or spite or whatever, because some people just don't like confrontation. So when I address certain things, they're like, you shouldn't say that. Bye. Anyways, I was finna end it right there. Like, let me just get off this thing. But I'm gonna say this. So this week I had a pretty good week. I'm not even done with work yet. I got one more day. Yay! Today is day 3 in a row. As of lately, I just been able to, which is not, it doesn't always happen, but like this week I was able to work all my days in a row. So that has been good. That has its pros and its cons. Like, once you get to day 3, honey, day 3 in a row, you be like, I gotta wake up and do this again. So yeah, it can be a bit much. And I am a float dialysis tech, so my destination might take me 20 minutes, it might take me an hour, it might take me an hour 30 minutes, hour 40 minutes just to get there. And so that means that if I gotta be to work at 5:30, that means I need to leave at like 3:45 or 4. That means I need to wake up at like 3 or 2:45. Y'all, do that always happen? No. And then this morning, I did wake up at a decent time, but y'all, I left my lunchbox, and I'm so sad because I had food in there that I wanted, and I wasn't trying to spend no money on no food today. Because I've been doing better and not buying so much takeout. So when I realized that, I was already like 5 minutes down the street, and I was like, I just don't have it in me to turn back around. So I did it, and so I ended up getting Smoothie King and Chick-fil-A. Anyways, I'm gonna address some meat right quick, and then I'll tell y'all how else I've been able to deal with certain things. So I worked at this one clinic, right? And typically, I'm gonna say this because I know a lot of my audience is just starting out in dialysis. So you get trained, whether you're a nurse or a tech, it doesn't matter. But we get trained to do your babe partners' patients' blood pressures when they go to break. That is a requirement of patient care, because that means you're making sure it's not just about your babe partner, it's about patient care. So without me jumping ahead of myself, this is how a conversation went between me and another tech, because I went to break for my little 30 minutes, came back, checked my vitals, realized that my 30 minutes, the time that I was gone, they were not done. And so then I asked the question, hey, which I've asked this question before at other clinics. So anyways, hey, how do you guys do blood pressures around here? Immediately she was like, you do your own. I was like, I said, yeah, I do my own if I'm not on the floor, duh, but I don't do my own if I'm not here. Like, if I'm not in the room, I can't do my blood pressures. Like, I can't check on my patient, and I'm on break. So then she goes, well, like, what? Like, you do yours. Like, she was like, I said, so y'all don't do blood pressures, other people's blood pressures? And she was like, looking crazy, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's how y'all roll. All right, cool. And then she was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I said, you don't have to say it, that's what it is. that's how you roll. You don't do blood pressures for the other person or for these patients. I says, so then I say, so y'all don't look at these patients? Y'all don't come check on these patients? Y'all being the tech, okay? So this particular clinic, it was two of us as techs and an RN. So I noticed when I go to a clinic and it's like that, the RN is not typically thinking blood pressures, because they're getting all the meds and they're the charge nurse, so they're answering phone calls, they're doing a lot. Like, we didn't have a secretary either, so she was like running around doing stuff. Like, she barely, like, she had a couple chill moments, but it wasn't a lot. So I wasn't expecting the nurse to do my vitals, because when I go to most places, or just being trained, you do your bay partner's blood pressures. All right, let me calm down. So I said that to her about, I said, so y'all didn't check on the patient? She was like, oh no. She said, oh no, we're not mean like that. And I was like, it's not about being mean. It's just, y'all don't do blood pressures. And she was like, then she goes, it's not, she says it's not company policy. Ugly face. What? It's not company policy? What are you talking about? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Now, this is just me. Now, some people might be like the same way, which is fine. That's you. You do you, okay? You do what you feel is right in your conscience to do. But that doesn't mean that other person has to agree. Now that I know that you in particular, when I work with you, that you don't do blood pressures, all right, cool. Now, if that is to happen to you, should you do the other person's blood pressures? Honestly, probably. You probably should. Are you obligated, or would the FA or RN, I won't say penalized, but would they be like, hey, you didn't do these blood pressures? Probably not, because they already know this person that you're working with. Now, mind you, in this case, this the FA is getting to know them, so she or he didn't necessarily know or whatever, but regardless, it's kind of like, if you feel like that's an issue for you, then you should go talk to the FA, because you don't, and I only say that because what I've learned in the past is you have to cover yourself. So you go ahead and say, hey, I had this conversation with such and such. That's just because at the end of the day, because I'm a floater, I don't know you. I don't know this person. So, and it's not about, let me finish my sentence. I don't know this person. So instead of assuming that, oh, since they like that, then they not gonna say nothing. I don't know, because people be doing all kind of stuff, man. I'm trying to tell you. So I don't assume. I try not to assume, because every time I assume, it turns out to be just no. So I personally will address it with that person directly, and then I will address it with management, just to say, hey, I said this to such and such, and whatever happens after that happens. But because I'm like, I don't know what they're gonna say, but I'm gonna tell you from my mouth what I said. Hazard, Jesus Christ. So like, sidebar, for instance, it only took me like 30-40 minutes to get to this clinic that I went to today. Now it's gonna take me like an hour to get home, because traffic and car accidents. Well, Lord, please keep me safe on this road, on this highway, because I just want to go home. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So yeah, if you have a situation that you just don't feel comfortable with before you leave. Address management. And some people don't trust management, but I mean, there's always someone over that person. And I have seen in cases, I have not done this, but I have seen in cases where people might feel like they've addressed management, or feel like management should address a situation that they didn't even tell management about. I don't understand like why they think that that's like possible. But anyways, I've seen where people just call HR and report people, which I've seen it once, and I was like, wait, like, okay. Now whatever happened, I don't really know all the steps after, they get reported or whatnot, but in my case of being a witness of seeing that happen, not a lot happened because the management didn't really do much. Like, they knew this person was, might be nice, nasty, or have an attitude, or just disrespectful to other staff, and other staff did not like that, so they reported that person. And guess what? That person ended up leaving. They were a travel person. They ended up leaving, and then management let them come back. So what's happening? So it's definitely one of those things where it's like, don't be surprised if nothing happens. And ultimately, most of those people y'all gonna let me over? Yay! Most of those people that reported this person ended up leaving the clinic anyway. So I was like, y'all did all of that, but hey, whatever. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we're grown. We should be grown. But then I also understand that as women, or even men, like, everybody deal with different insecurities, and some people don't like addressing stuff face to face. Some people will address stuff face to face and be about to fight, because I've seen that as well. Woo! So you can run into a lot of different scenarios. I'm sorry, y'all. My mouth was getting a little dry. Yeah, you can run a lot of different scenarios, but saying all that to say, don't let people bully you. Was I heated in the moment when I was being told that to not expect the blood pressures on my side of the room to be done? Yes! Not even gonna lie to you. I was like, ugly face. What? I said, I've never heard that before. Now, if people don't do it, they just don't do it. Now, also, like, if somebody go to break for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, over the time, then no, you're still not obligated. You're really not obligated to do all those blood pressures. But you should definitely do the 30 minutes. Like, you should do that 30 minutes. So, and I only took 30 minutes. So I just didn't understand it. Anyways, so I say that to say, because some people would expect you to be there, did that blood pressures like all day, and you'd be like, nah, I'm not doing that with you. But I'm also one of those people. So I did do her first set when she went on break, but I didn't do the next because I was like, I'm not. And I went on break first. So I did her first set. After having that conversation, I still did her first set, because I'm like, doesn't make sense. But regardless, I physically went over to look at her patients, and I could see them like from afar, but I was like right, I was at a distance, but right across from them where I could see them really good. But I still went over to them. And then it was kind of like, when she went on break the second time, for whatever reason, and this happens sometimes, but it's like 3 out of her 4 were 1, he started like cramping in a way that, no, his blood pressure was dropping, and his body responded by him trying to get up versus not trying to get up. And then when he was trying to speak, he couldn't speak. So that's when I knew he was really out, because he was like kind of like flailing the arm type deal, and I was like, what's going on? The nurse was with him, by the way. I'm like, what's going on? And then I noticed, I've seen that before. Mind you, this happened in like 30 seconds to a minute. So I was like, oh, he's going down. But as that's happening with him, then a patient or two down, they're raising their hand, can't even speak. And I'm like, what's wrong? Because it was already a nurse over. It was 2 nurses over there by this point. So I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, I'm cramping. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I know we not gonna have a cramp throw up party. Because then the next person next to him was like, I feel nauseous. I said, what? Y'all, I don't like throw up. I'm just saying. Anyways, so that was very, that was a lot happening in that moment, and I really felt for the nurse. But I was glad that the FA had like came out, and they were talking about patients anyway, because the FA was asking her questions about patients. And as that was happening, then we had to help get some oxygen. Here's the other thing: if you're in a home clinic, do us floaters or travelers or whatever a favor and put stuff where like it should. Put stuff where it's easily accessible. Like if I turn around, if there's a drawer on the side of the patients and I turn around, and all I gotta do is open the drawer and get what I gotta get. The emergencies bags, you had to walk across the room to get those. That's throw up bags for those who don't know. That's the blue ones. I hate the basins because that's disgusting. So also nasal cannulas, please put those in sight, because we had that situation. In that situation, the nurse, while I'm checking on the other 2 patients, and they're getting this one together. He's still going out, by the way. And they're like put his chair back, and they're like, and I'm looking around. By this point, I've gotten them settled, and now I'm looking through drawers like this to try to find some nasal cannulas, and they were nowhere around the close. They were not in close, what's the word? Proximity? Is that the word? They weren't close. Okay? They was across the room. And I said, what? So then, and as the nurse is like, I need nasal, I said, where are they? Why aren't they here? Why aren't they at each drawer? So that when I turn around, boom, all I gotta do is grab it. Like, so then we kind of like 2-timed it. It worked out. Just so you know, he lived. He didn't get too bad. He didn't get to the point where we had to do a sternum rub, which is where literally like the nurse would put this in the chest and rub to get the organs back, the heart and whatnot. Nurses, if y'all watching this, don't be mad that I don't fully have the terminology. I'm one of those type of people. I have to make sure I know the terminology sometimes, because I be like, yeah, grab the thingy and the thingy. You know what I'm saying? So don't be mad. And if you know what I mean, don't be mad. Just put it in the comments, okay? Don't be mad. Don't be mad at me. Yeah. So it didn't get to that point. But thank God, because that point is usually makes my stomach drop in the moment. Do I show it? No. But does it happen? Absolutely. Because I'd be like, oh crap, what's gonna happen? So he was okay. He was just really tired afterwards, of course. And I knew he was gonna be thirsty, because then he was about to throw up. So here's another point. So the FA was like, he was like complaining about his stomach. Mind you, I'm going back to these other patients because I'm watching the room, because they're handling that. Somebody gotta watch the room. Everybody can't be at one. Now if he was really like crashing, then yes, all of us gonna be there. But I would still like peek my head up and look around the room, because that's what happened anyway. So always in the midst of changeover, even if you can't physically help in that very second, look around so you at least know, like, okay, what's happening, or like, okay, this coworker's okay, this one's not, even though I'm not okay, so we're all not okay. Like, it be like that sometimes, okay? But you need to be alert, and you need to be aware of what's going on in the room. Your eyes and ears need to be open, and your mouth shut, because sometimes people be talking too much, and that's how they miss stuff too. Been there, done that. So yeah, overall it was a good day. Overall, even today was a good day. But yeah, that thing about the blood pressure is like, had me boiling for a good 5 minutes. I had to pray, which is not, it's, I said something to somebody, I said Jesus, and they was like, you calling Jesus already? I'm like, I call him out, I need him. Okay, you do too. So say that to say, I was like, Lord, I said, you gonna have to help me. Now, the Bible don't say, it's not that we won't get angry. We're human. We should be mindful of how we respond in anger. So in that, it was almost like the lady was trying to do back and forth with me. I don't feel like doing all that. If anything, I'm gonna just be quiet, and I might be meditating on how I'm gonna get you. The Lord is working on me. Okay. So I just was like, instead of me going back and forth, and she was still wanting to, because she didn't like me saying that's how you roll, like that's just how you do. And she was like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm like, I said, okay. Like, after the third time, all right, cool. Did it. After I cooled off, then I was like, all right. And then it's also like, don't let people get you so mad to the point where you are finna lash. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it. That's like energy wasted. So that was another thing I thought about. Like, okay, so now I see this person's mindset, and so I will respond and work accordingly. That's just a part of the job. So I will say that's also, it's like, that's a skill set that you develop. If you don't already have it, you develop it, whether it be at your home clinic or floating, and regardless, it's gonna be cultivated. But just don't allow yourself to get to that. If you feel like you're gonna be like that mad with you, where you about to be cussing and all of that in front of patients, which I don't curse anymore. And for those that do, you should watch your mouth and be professional, because that's not professional. It ain't even about, I could say it's about being godly because I am a woman of God, but at the end of the day, it's more so about being professional. And that's not professional. I don't even care if the patient's doing it. Like, that's not professional. So, but people, cussing is just, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna leave that alone because y'all grown. But anyways, I'll just end with this. Don't let nobody get you so upset to where you literally like lose yourself. If you heat it and you gotta walk off, do that. And also make sure you escalate conversations, be watchful and be prayerful. You know what I'm saying? Because we dealing with people, and you are a person. So I really don't like when people say, oh, I can't stand people, I don't like people. You are a person too, and one day you gonna mess up, one day you gonna hurt somebody's feelings, one day you're gonna be, one day you might say something that somebody doesn't like, and you don't know they don't like it. Like, you might do something that you don't know that you're not supposed to. You might cross a boundary that they may not have spoken, you know what I mean? So, or a boundary that they have spoken and you just intentionally cross it. Like, you gonna do something as well one day. So I just say, I don't have no hard feelings against that person. It just is what it is. If that's, if If a duck is a duck, a chicken is a chicken, an eagle is an eagle, a fox is a fox. Like, that's just what it is. Can't be bred to be nothing else. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, and I hope you guys got something out of this, because ooh-wee. Is that mine? No, I'm going south, and I need to. Oh no, I'm going 30 miles. See y'all. I done got to talking, but literally it's a straight shot back to the crib. But anyway, so I will talk to y'all next time. I hope y'all have a great, awesome, wonderful day whenever you hear this. I hope that you're encouraged. I hope that you feel just like ready to take on whatever challenges that you may have. Yeah. So, bye.